For new prepaid plans. Unleash your creativity with more social media. Dial *129 to activate.
Now that's the new vibe in the lingo.
Yes!
More pan more say the tingo. It's more with flow now, you really know. Catch you now. All these deals make you save more. Get more!
For over 20 years, Cubano Limited professionally delivers top quality products and exceptional service. Located in Sand Hill and Kingstown, we are open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. We supply animal feed, dog and cat food, animal supplements, a wide range of floral supplies, nursery pots, ground cover and shade cloth, and much more. We also stock a wide range of motor vehicle supplies, including automotive oils, filters for all vehicles, engine coolants, and much more. Email us today at cubano_1@hotmail.com or call us today 451-2911 or 493-7175. Cubano Limited, professional, top quality, and exceptional service.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now. Journey.
Welcome back, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The time is now 9:22, and it's time for our Talk to Me, our open forum. If you made this morning, we have joining us Reliza. Good morning, Reliza.
Morning.
And she is here with Doc Thompson, Christal, and myself. Reliza is just joining us. So, Reliza, how was your weekend?
How was my week? Oh, I went movies. Why do I sound so excited? Because y'all know
Right.
I don't go anywhere.
Right?
I went to see Dune.
Dune
2. It was
2.
really good. It was really
I need
good.
to see Dune 2.
Excuse me?
Good. I
was
saw
really
Dune
good.
1. I've been looking to see Dune.
Yes, Dune 2 came out last
I'm
weekend.
looking
Yes.
forward to it. Is it seems to be a Dune 3 or the end?
I think it's going to be a sequel.
I don't. Oh, the way
I
it
think it's
ended.
going to, yeah, I think
Okay,
so.
because the way it
One
was
ended.
advertised is that the book is split into Dune 1 and 2,
I
and
gotta
that's
see
what.
Dune. I
but
gotta see it.
That's
No,
nicer.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
nicer.
yeah.
There's going to
There
be.
has to be a Dune 3 because of the way in which his story ended and the story ended.
Dune. Dune.
And the way in which the story ended had me feeling like man is trash. And if you watch the movie, you would understand why I think that man is trash.
We just can't win them. But we were talking about the issue that occurred in Cedars, and a lot of persons wanted to get in on the discussion. I don't know if you had an opinion before we started reading comments.
So I didn't listen to the full commentary because I went into the room and I had
Mhm,
headphones, right? I would say that from reading, I think you turned it down too low, but I would say that these stories, the police report, and what it is that good no stop. Christal.
Yes, please.
Right.
Let's go.
The way in which the police report is written and the story that I'm getting from the online sources, it's conflicting. The one thing that I would say to it, and of course I'm hoping that we will be updated with information with regards to it, is that in my personal opinion, it is difficult for me to believe that if police did properly identify themselves, that the person would have fled. And I think that's probably all that I'm going to say on it until further information comes to light.
Okay.
Some responses coming in on the WhatsApp. Remember, 4579997 is the number to call or WhatsApp. Good morning. Vehicle can be a weapon. The black squad vehicle has lights and sirens.
And that's what I'm saying, right? Those Black Squad SSU vehicles, they are unmarked.
There's a call coming in. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I was walking up Frederick Street in Port of Spain one night, and I saw this pickup with tinted window came through, and two guys run out in plain clothes, and there were two Rastaman stand up on the sidewalk, and they just jump out there and run up to them and source them. But a third person alighted from the vehicle with police mark on them with a long machine gun with it tough mark police across them. But that could be quite intimidating, But they didn't say police. They just jump out the vehicle and search the guy. But you were able to identify that they're police afterwards when a third person alighted with a vest mark police. That's really intimidating. Then in 2006, in New York City, Queens, New York, there was a guy named Sean Bell. He was about to get married this Saturday. The Friday, he went to a bachelor party, him and a couple of friends. And they said there was some... but this is the police version that they threatened to... one of the members of the team threatened to come back with a gun and shoot up the club. So there was some undercover police in the area because they were investigating the club because they said the club was involved in some, stuff that they shouldn't be involved in. So they were doing some undercover work. And the police officers opened up 50 shots on that car and killed Sean Bell one day before his wedding. And they say that the police was found not guilty in court. They was indicted, but they found not guilty. They say there was a fourth person that alighted the vehicle, and that person probably had the gun. That was the police version. I believe they make that story up. Because we never found that fourth person, but they searched the car, there was no gun. So police always, police sometimes you got to give them, they need time to come up with some stories, or they're buying some time to come up with a different story a lot of times. That's our point. But one thing is in Vincent that I don't like. You hear these cases come up, 6 months pass, you don't hear nothing at all about it. And then if somebody asks the police about it, they say, oh, it's an investigation still. You don't hear nothing. And after a while, you say, okay, they went through a file, went through the DPP, and they decided not to take no charges. And the DPP don't have to give you no explanation. So that's the end of that. So that's the way I think this is going to go. Have a good morning. Bye.
All right. Thanks.
You see, that's also something that bothers me about the legal system. That last part he said, it is factual. The DPP can just drop a case and he doesn't have to give an explanation or a reason why.
Let me come in there. You see, in terms of any case, there has to be sufficient evidence to win a case. If there isn't, and you're just going to go and prosecute and have a trial, it's considered to be something of a waste because the entity would have a defense and so forth and things like that, and the case then isn't going to go as far. So that you see this on television all the time, Law and Order. We see the police and you go and get me the correct evidence. I won't find out if this is the correct, and that is the case. You have to have all those particular things in place first before I think so. I wouldn't just blame the DPP. Just gets up one morning and says, "I drop the case."
I'm not attacking the DPP. I'm saying I don't like the system in which the DPP does not have to explain at all why he drops a case in general.
In this case, huh?
Sorry, I don't like that in general. That the DPP can decide, okay, I'm dropping this case, and we never know why.
And again, I'm trying to say in terms of dropping a case. It's in terms of whether they can actually prove a particular
yes,
case.
And they know that, but we don't know that.
Yes, I know to explain, to get into the details and give an explanation.
Yeah, but you need some sort of closure.
Of the accountability.
Exactly.
Let's take a call. Hello, good morning.
Good night, sister. Good day, Sister Christal, my brother, and greetings, Mr. Thompson. I just want to ask you all something. You all been speaking about the very serious issue in Diamonds and what we're hearing about people actually gassing people. You ever heard anybody come on here for the police and warn the public and say, well, we are having a situation where they're gassing people in their sleep and to do X, Y, and Z. I mean, I am saying here, all what we have heard from whether eyewitness or from the police is speculation. But, oh God, did you all not hear me begging you all that this is a normal practice? Because I call them on NBC and they are saying crime going down until Bailey finally came on last program to say crime actually now we're number one per capita. And I'm only saying, hey, don't you understand what is happening? That the police are literally encouraged to deceive And we got to deal with that. Whether it's Hamilton's son, whether it's NDP or ULP. Brother, have you heard me not beg the police? Let us be honest with the public. Speak the truth. I was arrested, put in a cell, and they told me, up to now, nobody apologized to me. 2 times they arrest people on a radio program a few weeks ago. The police are saying we don't have to show a badge. My brothers, can't you all understand what is going on? Mr. Gonsalves, you're the leader of the police. You have a right to hold them to account. You can't have us to be divisive on radio. I work hard to put you all there because you all promised me a better life. Oh God, we stop fool ourselves and demand that we got better. What is so hard for us to say, Gonsalves, resign? Colin John is gone. You put another one, he worse than him. They have to resign too. We need to get better people in our country that can be honest. Man, I love you all very much, but you all encouraging them, man. You all encouraging them.
We love you too.
Who's
We love you too.
encouraging them?
We love you too.
How much is why we have
We
these
love you.
discussions?
Have
This
it till
ain't
we love.
encouraging
Have
nobody.
it till we love you too. We give you that, especially that crescendo that comes at the end. I always wait for it. You know what I mean? You're gone, but you got to till the other time. But Christal, you know, this is your
friend?
guy, your friend.
That's why I'm not responding.
Because
Because I'm pretty used to the claims and the accusations and what happens up there and all these things. So sometimes I don't even
But
bother.
he's saying a whole set of other things. He's saying there's a ton of crime, and the police are not admitting it. But that, in terms of when the police comes out and takes action, is this? They can't be over aggressive. They can't be excessive. For sure, we don't want them to. At the same time, if they're not solving crimes, so we say they're a waste of time. What are they doing?
So they need to, but they don't need to
crimes.
be over aggressive to solve crimes.
Yeah, but if they're in the case they say, if they're called to a particular scene, the issue will be, and you put it, did they effectively identify themselves, or did they come across as being robbers, as being persons who came to kill the individual there and assault the individual? So therefore, he sped off. They would be looking at it that this is a perpetrator, and he's trying to get away. Matter of fact, he's trying to run one of them down, because if you see the way the police come off of those things, the 5, 6 of them and so forth like that, they are surrounding that particular car in particular way so that the individual can't drive off. If they try to drive off, he will have to knock somebody down. You know, and I think that's where that particular action. I think it's unfortunate that shooting and to prove it, but I think we're gonna have to wait until those details. I have seen situations where you get reports very, very quickly. I've seen other times in which investigations do take some time. But I'm hoping that we will get some results very, very quickly on this.
Well, like I said, I believe that they tried to carry out the duties properly, and I don't believe that they did. They were successful in that. Because even from the video that I'm seeing, the transport is behind of the vehicle. If it is that they try to cut off the vehicle,
no, but remember the vehicle moved, so you can't.
If it is that they look at this road,
no. I'm saying if you look at the situation, the picture you're seeing there, don't take
a video that I'm seeing here. The road would not permit for a driver to drive off if they had cut in front of him. That is what I'm saying. They stopped behind him and they alighted, and all the guy probably.
You don't know how far the driver drove. He reversed and then drove off, and he stopped.
The road would not permit.
Because he was shot, he then stopped. How far did he shot? You can't look at the picture.
It's a video.
No, but you can't look at that video after the fact and make a determination, Ari. You can't do that.
The size of the road would not permit any driver. It's not a highway. If it is that they cut in front of him to cut off the vehicle, it is impossible for him to drive off. Look at that. It's a long pickup. If they pull the pickup in front of the vehicle in the road, how could he have driven off?
If you pull the vehicle pickup in front of the road, I mean,
hold on, gentlemen. There's a point I want to make, right? I don't think it has been shared just yet. And it might be like diverting slightly, but I think the police should be giving a little bit of credit for actually initiating a plan to deal with the robberies in Cedars. Albeit this situation here was very unfortunate.
At least the response time, I believe, as well, because was there a robbery in progress or something to that effect?
Right. So, I mean, that is one positive thing that I could pull out that has not been mentioned to date, that I would much prefer to separate from the unfortunate.
Yeah.
They put a plan in place, they actually initiated, follow through. It's just that in process of that, on this instant, something really unfortunate.
But I suppose
happened.
I also need to ask a question. So yes, let's say they thought that the person was trying to evade. Well, I don't want to use the word capture, but evade probably being questioned, right? What happened in the firing procedure? Was it a case where they're trying to aim at the tires to shoot out the tires? What was the aim in terms of shooting the gun at that point in time? Because to hit somebody in your spine is an interesting location, right? How many shots were also fired at the vehicle? So even in these type of situations where police have a situation of somebody trying to evade, what is their method in terms of trying to detain the vehicle in that sense from getting to proceed further? That's the question that I would have.
I said this earlier on, that Ariad pointed out something, that there was an omission. They wanted more details, that evasive action was insufficient. And that I said, wait, you want to know how much bullets were fired?
Nobody said that.
No. I'm saying, Risha just asked that question.
Yeah.
That's a question that would normally then be followed by a series of other questions. How many policemen fired? Was it one who was taking evasive action, or was it more than one, or whatever? I'm saying that aspect of the report goes into such detail that some entity would have left that information out for the actual probe. But our requirement this morning for news, the family's requirement for news, all this other stuff, I think that information is not available to them. That's what we lament. That's why we're speculating.
Over the weekend, there was a shooting. That is the main issue. Because nobody didn't hear that main fact. Nobody heard, a guy tried to evade police. Someone was shot. That is the main story. Now you're responding to someone being shot, and you're not including in the report that someone was shot. It's not an effective way to put out a report. Yes, questions will come after it regardless. I don't expect a long, detailed report to come out. But why omit that the guy was shot?
I don't understand that. I am missing what you are saying, and I think we dealt with this earlier.
Okay, the press release is in response to the incident. The main fact of the incident is someone was shot.
Yes. What the police basically would have said that they're taking the person took evasive action, and they're capturing everything under that whole. You may think that is insufficient, Ari, and I could understand.
Right, so we'll agree to disagree. All right, difference in opinions, all that is fine, and really and truly, once it's done in a respectful manner, which it has been done, that is acceptable. Good morning. I'm sorry about that incident that took place, but my take on this: while some police do not carry out their jobs in a professional manner, some people are very disrespectful to the police.
Facts.
They will disobey the police command, so in most cases, that will lead to a dispute. Also, people around will always be putting in their mouth against the police. We need to stop it. It is an offense. The police should respect the citizens, and the public needs to respect the police and allow them to do their work. All of us need the police. That's one response. Okay, good morning, guys. Now, anytime a police do anything to anyone, the only thing you would or will do is just write a report, and that is what the commission is going by. And another thing, again, the way things are these days, anybody could dress like police. I can really see that the doctor is trying to defend the police force.
I'm taking it. It's unfortunate the person say I'm trying to defend the police force. No, I'm giving an opinion based on my own experience and so forth. That's what I'm doing. I mean, I tell you, I want to say, of what I understand, the police did a great job over CELAC. You know what I mean? The police did an absolutely wonderful job.
You had me there for a minute.
Yes, they did.
I think they have.
Yes, they did.
They were dressed bad. They made the country look.
I think
they generally do a good job when we have.
And people were questioning, and the police up to it.
Oh, I didn't
Really?
hear that
Why?
conversation.
People were
But
questioning
it's not
whether
the
the
first
police
time,
were
I
up to,
mean-
were they up to all the security issues and so forth.
That I know that was in
different
the
presidents and so coming in.
Venezuela peace talks, but I didn't hear that.
Well, you see,
still.
if there was there in the Venezuela peace talk, do you think it would still remain today? Or do you think the Venezuela peace talk would have said, well, they're capable of it now? No, those talks are still coming up.
Oh,
and because now you had not just two presidents, but you had essentially
32.
many more. I mean, I was in Bolivia. I was nice seeing the president of Bolivia there. I saw him in Bolivia. I briefly mentioned to him through interpretation, like, Stan, you are coming to St. Vincent. I moderated a panel with the vice president of Bolivia, you know, and that was quite interesting. I got to drop some pictures on Facebook. But you know, I'm really glad he may come across. I'm changing the subject, but CELAC was, I think, a big success. What do you say, Ari?
Christal, what do you say?
How are we passing on? Ari always have an opinion.
Don't do that.
No, I don't.
Don't do that.
Drop
You
it.
say I don't have an opinion on the matter. Don't throw it to me.
Let me apologize. I went to Ari. I
How
could have gone to
dare you?
Croatia. I thought CELAC was a big success. What do you think?
I think that it went well. I did not hear of any incidents happening. It seemed as though everything went smoothly. So yeah, I just be myself again.
Wait a minute. What's going on here?
No, it's just that certain things, the steps that were taken in terms of the preparation of the country, etc. I want to see it ongoing. That's all I'm going to say.
Every 2 months. Chop down the trees.
You're going to take this the wrong way. You
Paint
know,
the roads.
You've had an experience in the past with the police. You've spoken.
But we're going all over the place, Doc. Are you jumping back to that?
I want to make a jump with CELAC too.
Back to it. I'm coming. And
Jesus.
do you think that experience has flavored, colored, or in any way affected your own views?
Man, let me answer for him.
I could answer you guys right now. If you
I feel like the
Google,
program should end right now.
Because listening. I mean,
Hold on here, boy. With the popcorn.
Google my
With the camera
name,
to zoom in on his
you would
face.
see a number of stories, right? Before the police hit me. Before that, I had an issue with the fact that they do not know how to carry out their duties and a lot of them don't know the law.
But do you find, I had a point I'm making to you. I'm not going back on your incident. I said, I'm trying
to say outside of the incident, I do believe that a number of police officers do not know how to effectively police.
Yes, but how I'm asking you from a personal point of view, do you think that taints and colors?
Do you want her to answer the way you hoping that he would answer?
No.
Because
I'm saying incidents are not. I've always felt like they do not effectively police.
Incident come up?
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he asked. But that's what he asked. He asked me if because the police hit me, I feel like all the police doing.
No, I'm not all the police. No, you already said no. But do you find that it's put a tint?
Draw it out, Ari. Tint it out. Come on.
We talk about tint to the cards. You think it's put a tint over the way in which you look at matters relating to the police? I'm not saying you're biased.
That's a preconceived bias.
No, I'm not. I can never.
Tint is a bias.
My opinion comes from a lot of things that I have witnessed and the accounts of other people, stories that I've written as a journalist, things that I've seen that I've not written, and even incidents that happened with my friends.
The reason why is that I came back to ask you, and I shifted it to Arisha about what did you think of the police performance?
There's a fourth person.
And you, did not want to answer that question. You shied away. You asked, you threw off the Christal. And that's what I'm asking. What is there a tint in relation to the way in which you look at it, and therefore it prevented you from answering the question I asked you?
You're on the stand. Yes. Please answer the question.
That's a rich man. That's a rich.
Your question, Doc, your question is the same question I say that you want to answer, but you don't want to use the same words. It's like, how do you ask somebody out on a date in a like old English? like how do you say it? Use Bible verse, use Bible jargon.
Maybe I'm using I'm being very careful. I'm being very careful in terms of what, because
In terms of how you say,
will
Aaron,
be the
you're biased.
accusation. The accusation. No, I'm not saying he's biased. I know he's not
No,
biased.
you want to ask that.
You
That's
are-
what it
He's a
sounds like.
journalist. He's a thinker. I know I've gotten to know him.
Listen, let me answer the question. Yeah,
Because you're biased, like in our
the
answer.
preparation
I was asking how did I switch? I didn't
in
switch.
terms of preparation.
I stepped back, come forward to ask him why he couldn't answer that question.
I couldn't.
on
I didn't
CLAC,
want to.
on the police's performance.
Oh, that
during
wasn't the
But then-
question. But that wasn't the question. Wasn't the
They-
question
they-
is
okay,
do
so
I
he
think that
wanted
Silak
to-
was a success?
Yeah, I think
The
so. I think that's,
policing.
yeah, I think
The
that was
policing.
That was a success.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
it
that's
didn't
because
have
they
anything to do
yeah,
with policing. And
No,
Silak,
but the
whether
statement
the
before the
let's-
success was about policing.
yes, and then he switched to Silak.
So remember, that's why I
Right.
thought he was just doing a complete switch
Yeah,
of conversation.
Yeah, so
Right.
I didn't know the
Anyways,
question was.
anyways,
I don't. I
My
can't speak
apologies.
about that. I
My
can't speak
apologies if
about that.
I did that. A call is going to call it. Dr. Thompson is trying this also. You know, but sorry about that.
Something though.
I apologize.
I think there was either a story or photograph that I looked at. On the much lighter side of SILAC topics, where there was an exchange of gifts between the president of Guyana and president of Venezuela.
Mhm.
I thought it was so interesting because I'm wondering if you would have seen that had it not been for the actions of Prime Minister Gonzalez. Like he was
before.
they talked
what's
before,
it, the
and they
AGA?
still
Secretary
What, the AGA
General
Convention,
and Secretary
I think?
General of the United Nations also being there and so
Yeah.
forth. That was
So
a profound picture.
it,
you know?
it just reminds me of when
That's
you're in
diplomacy.
primary school and you don't like this person for some reason and there's a dispute, but really deep inside you just
Yes,
want to be
sir.
friends.
I have said
Oh.
that is the
Here's
makings.
chocolate.
Ari, I've said that's the makings of a Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh,
You may disagree.
you're
with
gonna
me,
nominate
Catherine.
him?
I think that's the makings of a Nobel Peace Prize.
You can nominate him. Can you?
I
How
think
does
the nomination
nominations
is
go?
up. It's gone already. Has to be in by the end of January.
That's,
Answer that.
that's interesting.
Yes, yeah.
What, the Nobel?
Yeah. You know what? Let me think about
Do you
that
think?
before
Do
I
you think
comment.
that was his
No,
plan?
I tell you something.
Think about
I tell you
it before
something.
I
I tell you
His
something.
master plan.
I called in on one of the programs earlier last year and made that vision, and it hasn't. I even mentioned it to the person in question. He said, "Nah, don't worry about that," and so. But I think that is the making of
Now,
a
do you know
Nobel Peace
something?
Prize.
Do you know something that we don't know?
But
Are you
no, I
trying
don't.
to
But how many
preempt?
no, so this is probably where I need to do some Google research. Because do you get nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize on account of one incident or
Yes,
one
it's
action?
usually one, if you notice the Peace Prize and so forth. But
Or
in terms of
ongoing action?
nominations,
You said nomination.
nominations
Oh,
have
okay,
to be
okay,
in
okay.
by the end of January.
Okay.
And then it goes through a process where they do the announcement. There's a committee that makes a decision, and so they make the announcement sometime in October, November.
I want to see PM's vision board. That's what I want to see.
So as no
Past
one
I don't think
mince my words, right? I do think that what we do is what happened here, both with the Venezuela and Guyana, was important. CELAC was equally important, but on a global scale, there are a number of serious things happening across the world in terms of people dying, a high body count. Ukraine, we have
Palestine,
Israel,
Gaza.
we have a lot of unrest in African countries. So the likeliness of the nomination. That's why I asked again, nomination, but I'm thinking, is it a limited amount of persons?
No. Other entities are basically nominated. There's a committee that then goes through it and picks out what to say. No, this one is a nice idea.
Okay.
Sounds good. Let me think about it for a
Okay.
while. Let me research it and think about it, Aisha. You know what I mean? And then there are others that basically say, yes, this one can go the distance.
I think I want us to do a
A
talk to me.
segment called "What's My Name?"
And we do try to find out what is Releaser's name. Because every day that
name.
Rolisa is here in studio, there's a different name. Good morning, Rachel. Good morning, Rolisha. Good morning, Roleza. Louisa.
I said,
Right,
listen, we need a
yes.
graphic, right? We could have it in the corner. The amount of times somebody called Rolisa name.
But it's the story of my life. Y'all won't believe.
Public asking me Ari if Ari is a nickname. And so
Nah,
forth.
Ari is my name. A
That's
lot of
the
people
whole
ask me
name.
that. A
It's
lot of people
whole
ask
You
me
can't get a nickname from that.
that. Nah, a lot of people ask. So what is your
It's
what is your name?
Arrington.
What
Your
is it?
full name
Where's
is
the rest of your
Arrington.
name, right? Funny
Or
enough, my
Arundel.
father's name is Arlington.
Arlington.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's from
So it's
East
Ali.
London.
So we're gonna call it Ali.
I
But
don't
it's
believe that.
it's
No,
9:50.
anyhow, before we move off of this topic, right? To go back to the original topic, I just want to have my piece.
Mhm.
The reason why it is I'm getting serious now.
About Dune?
Is that
Oh.
no,
Oh no, that was the original
That was-
topic.
oh,
Sorry.
No, that wasn't the original. It was the first topic.
Okay.
So the thing of it is that I noticed that the police are making efforts. They're making strides. They're trying to, be a little bit more out there within the communities. They're doing their part in terms of getting information out there to us in a timely basis, etc. They are doing their part to try to get us as society back to a level where there is a sense of mutual respect, right? And when we have to hear of situations like this happening, it takes them 10 steps backwards, right? And this is on account of their own officers. I'm not sure if I'm being maybe a little bit heavy in my opinion with that, but as I have suggested to Simmons before, is that we really need to do a cop chat session on the way in which police should approach civilians and the way in which civilians should respond, right?
Another one.
Another one.
Another
Okay,
one.
so this is one for me and probably Arite because
Yeah.
I've never heard
But
of
to
it.
be honest, to be fair, no. It was before you guys joined
Right.
us.
Yeah.
But to be honest and fair, I think there are certain things that should be repeated on a regular basis. That's one of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because as I said, from what it is that I read from both reports, from the journalists, from the article that's online, and from the police report, it's conflicting. And as I said, until I get further information, just based on what is there, it is difficult for me to see somebody fleeing if police did effectively and forcefully identify themselves.
I could see a criminal fleeing, but you were in the article.
But from based on what's there, I mean,
based on the article
right.
and the characters of the people that's being portrayed, I don't see exactly what you're saying, Lisa. I don't see them fleeing.
My apologies if that's not the way it went down and they did it, but you have to understand that as a thinking person, that is what it is. That's the conclusion that I'm going to come to.
Yes.
I think something else to put in here is perhaps the track record of people who flee from the police might be something to note, might lead to them responding the way that they did. Because it takes me back to Georgetown. Remember that gentleman who was shot and found sometime later somewhere a distance off from where shots were fired in Georgetown. Maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember exactly when.
Yeah, but it's an ongoing conversation.
Christal, I think you may have hit the nail on the head earlier on when you said that the other occupant in the car may have, whoever they are and so forth, may have had some influence in the fact that the person may have fled, and how that would have influenced that moment of decision making. What do I do? Whether it is that they thought they were being robbed or whether they wanted to avoid any other question is that in the process of getting away, trying to get away, right? Fleeing, those moments of fleeing is when the incidents are going to take place, and you see this in America, with black individuals being shot. We cry out and so forth for it. In those circumstances, as a male, you stay in your car, you hold on to your steering wheel 10 to 2, as I said, and you basically wait for the instructions for them to say pass out. You don't go for your license or anything like that. So
we can't compare that with
I know you can't compare it.
I
know you can't compare it, but I'm saying for myself, I'm under different circumstances, where there is a greater risk of being shot by anybody in America and so forth, I stay put. And so forth. And here, St. Vincent, I don't think anybody should be encouraged that is justified to take off, to drive off. Because it's during that few seconds of driving off that you're likely to then get shot. Isn't that you're
Things
going
can
to
go
evade?
very wrong, right?
You know what I mean? You're going to evade. And I think that message that, well, if you're scared, drive off. I think that may not necessarily be the call of the day, the correct thing to do.
The correct thing to do is identify yourself properly, and then people won't feel that way.
All right, so we got to cut the conversation now. Thank you so much for joining us. It's 9:55 though, and we got to run because we've got news and brief coming up right about now. Immediately following that,
this is Ari looking, but we have community dateline.
Yeah, so we have the news and brief, and immediately following that, we'll have community dateline.
All right.